What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Cool Colas here, and you are now tuning into a new video on my channel. But before we get all into the topic, I would love for you to do a few things, the usual things that is. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you have not already. Go ahead and hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the bell icon so you get notifications for whenever I come out with new content on this channel. And at the end, please leave me a comment. That way I can go back and I can look at whatever it is that you left and go from there. For today's topic, I'm going to talk about why I believe Black unity, just the concept of it, is overrated. The reality is that everybody in the Black community, when they think about empowering Black people, wants to see Black people unified as a whole, as a collective. And in theory, that sounds great. And I think that it's also worth noting that an individual who is thinking from this perspective also wants to see progressiveness from the Black community. And that's not a bad thing. But there's an issue with saying that without the proper context. When these individuals want Black unity, specifically the individuals who talk about Black unity for the Black community as a whole, what they're not doing is giving proper context to the rules that go with being codified in order to have an appropriate Black community that is unified. So what I mean by that is they want all Black people all over, regardless of where they're from, and also all Black people that just exist, to be unified and to be on the same page. The problem is that not all Black people are actually going to be on the same page. You have a lot of sellouts, you have a lot of coons, you have a lot of sambos. You have a lot of people walking around who have no type of camaraderie with the Black community as a whole. And what we need to do is to point out and to show who those individuals are that are not with the Black community. So in other words, what I'm saying in so many words is that we as Black people need to make sure that we are delineating, not just from a cultural aspect, because when I say delineation, most people think culturally, but even from a mindset type of thing. So we as Black people are never going to be at a place where every single Black person is going to absolutely be on the same page. As a matter of fact, no race or culture or ethnicity is going to have that unified body of thought. It's in theory, it's nice to wish for that, but we're never going to have that because one, we're all different people. And two, we also have been systematically positioned to not want to be unified with one another. So we've been positioned to want to not even help our own as a priority. Now, does that mean that we should not achieve Black unity to some extent? We should, but it should be with individuals who are like-minded, who want to all see the Black community thrive, but they make it a priority. That's the main thing we need to focus on here. So one thing that I've done quite a bit, just from my own perception, I've looked at who in the foundational Black American community is on code, and I want to network and connect with those individuals who are like-minded, who are foundational Black Americans, who embrace their foundational Black American heritage. Now, if we have brothers and sisters in the diaspora who have the same ideals and are kind of in that same frame of mind, then of course we want to be able to connect with them as well too, and we can unify with them so they can ride with the movement that we are creating here in America. So it's important for us to delineate based off of the mindset and to some extent the culture, because you have a lot of brothers and sisters from the diaspora who come over here and they denigrate foundational Black American society, or they become political shields and they talk about things about how like we don't need reparations and things like that. And that's not to say that FBAs don't, because a lot of us do. But the reality is that we check the people and make sure that we castigate the individuals in from our culture who have this type of mindset. The issue a lot of times with non-FBA or Black immigrant society is when they have individuals who have this mindset, they tend to not really try to castigate them too much, or at least identify who they are, so we all can kind of look at who it is that are making these off-code statements, comments, or who are behaving in a way where they're trying to run counter to black society as a whole. So again, that's not for me to get to a conversation about just delineation, but just about mindset in general. We need to have a unified mindset when it comes to being codified. And for those who either are already there or are trying to get the game, we want to make sure that we're on the same page and we're informing each other about how we should move, how we should behave, and whatnot. But I also want to talk about the issue with trying to unify every single person, regardless of the way that they think or where they have decided to stand firm, especially if they're off code, that is. The problem with that is that every black movement that has ever existed in history has been destroyed because of coonery, or let me say it in a way that makes sense. Every single black movement that has been created or that has been revolutionary in order to combat the dominant society has been destroyed if it was successful already or had some level of success or momentum because of black people who are sellouts. It's important for us to look at and monitor and prevent the individuals who are sellouts and have this mindset from trying to cause destruction for any other black movements that may be created. So let's look at this. The black movements that have been destroyed by off-code blacks or by coons have been the Haitian Revolution. Now we're looking at the diaspora. The Haitian Revolution has been destroyed as a result. The Maroons, Maroon colonies, like when you have the Maroons who basically were fighting against the white supremacists and escaping from slavery, that's been destroyed by active Samboisms. You have again, like the movement of blacks getting immigrants into the country, into the United States to work with foundational black Americans to work against white supremacy. That backfired because you have a lot of immigrants who basically are off code who come over here as well too, and they run counter to black society because they don't really have a camaraderie with us, although we are trying to get them over here because we believe because they have the same skin tone as us that and DNA to a certain extent that they're going to assist us and help us and whatnot, and it doesn't really go that way. So the reality is that we as black people need to have some form of unity, but that unity needs to be with individuals who are like-minded. And what I mean by like-minded is we all are one code, and the person who we're trying to connect with is also on code as well too. It doesn't need to be all black people because there are too many Sambos who are willing to sell us out. Now, the one thing that we need to consider here is that we still need to educate folks. We still need to be able to teach our children how to not end up Samboing once they become adults. We need to be able to teach even other adults who just want to get the game, who maybe just weren't properly educated but want to do something constructive. We need to be able to teach them in proper ways as well too, so that they can also unify with us as pro-blacks. So really, what I'm saying in so many words, y'all, is that black unity is overrated for all black people, but black unity is totally understandable and justifiable if the individuals who are trying to unify are pro-black. Understand, y'all, that when it comes to black unity, we are not going to be able to save every single black person. That's just the reality. We need to understand that there are some blacks whose mindsets you are not going to be able to change. And that's where we get into the difference between being off code or just not having the knowledge versus being somebody who, again, is a sellout, is a coon, is an active Sambo. Those individuals you do not want to change their mindset, because the reality is that you can't. You don't want to waste your time, your energy, or anything else, anything that's going to take from you and not give back to you. You're not going to want to spend any of that on individuals who have already set in their mind that they do not want to help Black society, or their priority is to not help Black society as a whole. So you want to make sure you're putting your entire focus into individuals who are going to do things that are progressive and are going to make Black society a priority. So again, when it comes to Black unity, the reality is that not all of us can come on the journey when it's time for us to get to wherever it is that we need to get to. Some of y'all gonna have to get left behind. All right, y'all, so this is all I got for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed. Again, if you have not subscribed, please make sure that you do. I will have other videos to come soon. So make sure that, once again, that you are supporting me and listening to whatever I have to say. Anyway, y'all, I hope you have a good rest of y'all's day, morning, and whatever time. And I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.